You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Right now, a sinkhole is growing at a Bradenton shopping center, and it's not the only one in that area. Why business owners are getting concerned.
Plus, a call for justice today after a Newtown man was tased by Sarasota police.
And meeting back on, we'll tell you about a North Korean official coming here to meet with the Secretary of State about getting that summit back on track. We'll get local reaction. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, Wednesday, May 30th. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us. We are halfway through the week, folks, and it looks like maybe a better weekend in store this weekend, John Scalzi.
Yes, indeed. But first, we got to get through the morning. Lots of rain showers coming our way. Exactly what we don't really want is more rain showers, right? We want a chance to dry out. In fact, some of the statistics just came in. Venice had their wettest month, and the month's not over, since 1955. They had, are you ready for this? Almost 13 inches of rain, and the normal is just about 2.25. So unbelievable. And we've got more on the way. Some heavy rainfall moving through parts of the Suncoast. Arcadia getting some pretty good rainfall. Also central Sarasota, east of the interstate, also getting some fairly heavy rainfall. All of that is going to be around this morning for your drive time. A lot of cloud cover around as well. That moisture plume continues to lift northward, giving us a couple of days of wet weather. We'll talk about that in detail in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic, nothing so far in Manatee County. Checking farther south now in the upper half of Sarasota County. A little blip there at the 41-301 junction, nothing major right now. Also Clark Road in the eastbound lane at Swift. And farther south, the only issue I see is down there by Port Charlotte around US 41.
Happening today, it is a call for justice after a shooting that involved an officer tasing a Newtown man a few months ago.
Our Marla Spence is live now from Sarasota City Hall. Marla?
Good morning, guys. 3 local groups will be meeting right here at City Hall. Those groups are Answer Suncoast Coalition, the Rodney Mitchell Foundation, and also Black Lives Matter Minnesota. They say they plan to speak out at a police complaint committee meeting today. Now, those groups that will gather here at City Hall are calling for justice in 2 cases that happened in Newtown, one involving a man who was tased by police officers in late March and the other in April at Janie's Gardens Apartments. The first case in late March was when police officers arrested Chad Washington in Newtown. Police believe Washington was under the influence of the hallucinogenic drug spice and say he was punching and biting officers, even sending one to the hospital, but spectators that day claim officers started the violence and say Washington was not resisting arrest. Spectators also say Washington was tased 13 times and was even seen convulsing from the tasing for about 20 minutes. The other incident protesters are speaking out against dates back to April at Janie's Gardens Apartments. Officers were patrolling the area when they spotted a suspicious car with 3 teens inside. That's when one officer walked over to the driver's side of the car, and police say the driver, Jeremy Trevels, started to reverse his car, and that's when shots were fired into the car, and that's when Trevels and those 3 teens drove themselves to the hospital and were treated for gunshot wounds. Now, later on tonight at 5:30 is when all 3 groups will be gathering right here at City Hall. Coming up at 5:30 this morning, what all 3 groups hope to see after they formally file their complaints, that's coming up at 5:30. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Nearly 24 suspected sexual predators are off the streets this morning and behind bars. The arrests are the result of a sting operation with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. This is their 5th operation in 5 years, resulting in more than 100 arrests. Yesterday's arrests ranged in ages from 22 to 58. Detectives say all of them responded to ads on the internet and engaged in sexually graphic written and verbal communication. The sheriff says the arrest included a 24-year-old worker at Disney World.
Depending on their criminal records and things, we've seen them get at minimum 5 up to 15 years in prison for doing this. So this is certainly a deterrent by arresting them, and the message to them is that in most regards, you're looking at 5 years up to 15 years.
Now, the sheriff's office also says there are 9 apps that parents should know about, like Snapchat, Bumble, or Live Me, where kids can be vulnerable to predators.
Right now, a sinkhole in one Bradenton shopping center is only getting bigger. Now, Now, this is actually the sinkhole that has businesses and customers in the Cortez Plaza East Shopping Center worried. And not too far from it appears to be a second sinkhole that's forming. Business owners there say as it continues to grow, nothing is being done about it.
The landlord, often he don't want to talk to us. We contacted them many times, and then nobody can give you an answer to anything. And they say, yeah, we're going to fix it soon, we'll fix it soon, but then for 2 years nothing has happened.
I'm a concerned citizen. I appreciate if something get done because I don't want nobody car getting stuck or the storm come and throw stuff around and it all over the place and then somebody get seriously injured. It's just not safe.
Manatee County says they may be stepping in to fix the problem and then bill the owner for it. The Public Works Department is getting ready to present an option to the Manatee County Commissioners at their June meeting. The owner of the Cortez Plaza East Shopping Center couldn't be reached for comment.
One of North Korea's top officials is on his way to the U.S. to lay the groundwork for a summit next month. Area Congressman Vern Buchanan sees this as a positive step toward a summit and improving relations between the U.S. and North Korea. Yesterday, he and I sat down in his office and talked about the issue. He says it's time the two countries get on the same page.
If we can find any way we can work together. I also think of Germany, where they had, East and West Germany, and they came back together as a people. I'd like to see that move in that direction because it does cost the American taxpayers a lot of money. The thing with North Korea has been 60 years. That's enough time. Let's see if we can't find a way. Is it going to be complicated? Do I agree with exactly everything the president's doing? No, but I do think that he's moving in the right direction.
So observers say sending Kim Jong-un's right-hand man to the U.S. builds confidence on both sides. The summit was scheduled for June 12th. That's less than 2 weeks away. Stay tuned.
And then there were 4. The Northport Police Department have now narrowed down the search for a new police chief to 4 candidates. Ralph Anthony most recently served at the Tampa International Airport as the Deputy Chief of Police there. Todd Garrison is currently the District Commander at Lee County's Sheriff's Office. Paul Grahowski, he is most recently the Chief of Police for Allen Hancock Community College in California. And then Frank Kitzrow, he's the current Chief of Police for the Jupiter Police Department. There will be a meet and greet so you can get to know some of these finalists on June the 11th from 6 to 8 at Northport City Hall.
Just a reminder, this Friday, ABC7's First Alert Weather Team will explain everything you need to know ahead of hurricane season, including evacuation routes, flood zones, what shelters are pet-friendly, and new transportation options. Experts will be in our studio to answer your questions live on air. That's Friday night, 7 p.m. right here on ABC7 Tips on Surviving a Hurricane.
And as we inch closer to the start of hurricane season, the city of Sarasota is checking for the signs of sea level rise, most recently by installing the sea level marker and sign at the north end of Nora Patterson Bay Island Park. According to government officials, the marker notes projections for a Category 1 hurricane and then future sea level rise.
Well, with hurricane season starting Friday, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has a warning for you. In the wake of the storm, wildlife may become displaced and you might be more likely to encounter wild animals, especially those directly impacted by flooding. So if you encounter wildlife, give them as much space as possible. If you have concerns about an alligator, contact the statewide Nuisance Alligator Program. Just call Stephanie Webb directly.
Alligator hunter.
5:08 right now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. A Broward County police officer is off the job and faces sensitivity training after something he said about a Parkland school shooting survivor.
And later in the hour, the warming weather is bringing out all kinds of creepy crawlies these days. Coming up, what you need to know about bee and hornet and wasp stings as they become more common. But first,
here's a peek outside our window. It doesn't look like it, but there are plenty of showers right now churning up the peninsula, John Scalzi.
Yes, from south to north, those rain showers are coming at us. We have a good chance of rainfall this morning, about a 50% chance. That lingers through the noontime hour. And then this afternoon, with a little daytime heating, we'll bump it back up to about 70% and maybe a few thunderstorms around as well. You can see those showers kind of dotting the landscape coming up at us from the south. They'll be with us through the morning hours. How long will they last? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke It's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A couple of rainy days in store for us. We'll start with today being a rainy day. The showers coming up at us from the south. We talked yesterday about this deep plume of moisture that is going to be rising across the area throughout the next couple of days, and this is it. This is what we're talking about. And the showers now moving through areas of Punta Gorda, producing some fairly heavy rainfall just to our south, and it continues to lift northward throughout the morning hours. And in fact, I think even into the afternoon, we'll see those showers and thunderstorms around. Right now, the heaviest of the rain moving up just toward into Lakewood Ranch across University. That's producing some pretty heavy rainfall. Now, the thing about these storms is they're pretty fast moving. So they'll be in and out pretty quickly, and total rainfall and out's not that great. So if you are about to leave for your commute this morning in Lakewood Ranch and you can wait maybe another 15 minutes, this storm system will be out of there. And then down to the south around Charlotte Harbor, we're seeing some storms move through areas around Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda. These are heading in a direction that'll take them up toward Arcadia in about half an hour or so. The storm systems that's down in Charlotte will be in Arcadia at that point. So it'll be a kind of a wet, sloppy commute this morning. Watch out for some ponding water on roadways, particularly in the southern parts of the viewing area this morning. Could be happening as these are pretty heavy storms, but it should drain off pretty quickly because the total rainfall amount's not that great. 75 the air temperature. Dew point coming in at 90. Got some cloud cover out there, obviously, with the rain showers and a southeast wind coming in at about 7. The direction of the wind over the next several days is going to be kind of instrumental in the forecast for the weekend. I know everybody's looking forward to a nice weekend. It seems like weeks since we've had really beautiful weather, and it looks like we're going to get that this weekend. Got some scattered showers on our future cast moving north again this morning through about the 7 o'clock time period. We'll have these showers and even thunderstorms around. And then as we head into lunchtime, there'll still be some residual rain showers. And then as we head into the evening hours, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see some thunderstorms around. So you get the picture. The rain shower chances are good throughout the day. They'll wind down this evening. They'll be back with us again tomorrow. Maybe not quite as heavy and as widespread a rain shower chance as we have today, but they will be around. A lot of cloud cover across the region, and this deep tropical moisture plume lifting northward continues on today, continues on tomorrow. But it will change as high pressure begins to build in. What we'll notice over the course of the weekend is as this high builds in, our winds will start to shift to a more southwesterly direction. And what that will do will take the rain showers and kind of push them toward the other coast. We'll get some morning showers along our coast, but then they all move toward the other coast in the afternoon. So after a brief round of light showers and maybe a thunderstorm during the early morning hours on both Saturday and Sunday, we'll enjoy some pretty nice weather for the bulk of the day and into the afternoon. We'll be warm, however, though. Humid with storms today, a drier weekend. The East Coast will get the weekend rain, so if you're traveling over to that coast this weekend, expect to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms each afternoon. South wind coming in at about 15 becomes more southeasterly this evening at about 10 knots. You'll have a moderate chop on your bay and inland waters. High tides, 7 o'clock high tide, low tide rather, another high tide coming at about 12:40 this evening. 83 our daytime high today, 70% chance of rain, about a 50% chance tomorrow. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we start to dry it out. Temperatures, of course, will respond to the heating and will be up pretty close to the 90-degree mark at least one of the days this weekend. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Moving on a little bit, let's take a first look outside to Bee Ridge and Tuttle Avenue. This is always one of our morning hot spots. A little slow right now, but that one will definitely be warming up as the morning commute gets fully underway. Right now, the traffic is pretty moderate right there. All right, let's move on to some of our traffic maps. Take a look at some of those. Not too much going on in Manatee County. A little bit of a slowdown right there on State Road 70 just before it hits 301. Other than that, just a couple delays going north and south on 301, a little bit farther south in Manatee County. In Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad just yet. A couple slowdowns, just a couple delays right there. University Parkway, Fruitville, and 41, as well as Clark Road and 41. Just some small slowdowns to tell you about in there. And then a little bit farther south into Manatee County, those roads aren't looking too bad either. A little blip right there on 41, but other than that, your traffic is running pretty smooth at 517. That's your first alert traffic.
A Broward County police officer has been suspended for 5 days after wishing a car accident on one of the survivors of the Parkland shooting massacre. Officer Brian Valenti said in a now deleted Facebook post that he hoped an old lady would lose control in the parking lot where survivor David Hogg and other activists held a die-in protest last Friday. Hogg organized the protest, which involved participants lying on the ground. Hogg and the Coconut Creek police chief spoke out Tuesday about that comment.
Police officers are supposed to be the people that protect and serve our community, not hate and perpetrate violence like he was kind of advocating for on there. That's just disgusting.
He's extremely remorseful about it. This is a man that has spent 23 years working for the city and with a very good work record here. His mistakes were inappropriate. They were not professional. He acknowledges that.
The chief says for the officer to keep his job now, he'll have to go through sensitivity training.
Well, should the details of the arrest of the suspected Golden State Killer be made public? Media outlets and the victims' families want the details released, but will it make for a fair trial? Lamore Abrams has a story.
East area rapist, Golden State Killer suspect Joseph D'Angelo standing silently in a courtroom cage. The former police officer handcuffed in an orange jumpsuit, his eyes never leaving the judge, weighing how much information to release about his arrest, including what was found inside his Citrus Heights home.
It is easier now before the cat is out of the bag.
Defense attorneys arguing any information once out in the open would taint a future jury pool and witnesses' recollections.
If you release amounts of confidential information, that is a recipe for an unfair trial.
Focus on the importance of access.
But the attorney representing several media outlets argues that information can can be released without jeopardizing the suspect's ability to have a fair trial.
It's a very rare circumstance where publicity is so widespread that you can't find 12 unbiased jurors.
Media attorney Duffy Carolyn adds the case may not go to trial for years, but alleged victims say they'd like to know a lot sooner what was in the suspect's house when he was arrested. Material seized from his home in April, including, attorneys say, a computer, cell phone, and possibly memorabilia from his alleged crimes.
A lot of them don't understand if their things were found on his property. A lot of them don't know for sure if this is the guy.
Authorities strongly believe 72-year-old Joseph DeAngelo is their guy. The man they say is linked through DNA to at least 12 murders and more than 50 rapes in the 1970s and 80s. The suspect now thanking his attorneys from behind courtroom bars before returning to his jail cell.
DeAngelo is expected back in court tomorrow. Now, the judge said he will also announce his decision then. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, Uber. They are changing the game for customers. We're going to tell you about a new feature that will keep you safer on your Uber rides.
And next half hour at 5:30, a new study shows that the death toll during Hurricane Maria was likely way off, like thousands off. That story's on the way. First, we'd like to show you live shots all over. How about this one? Here's a wide shot.
Right out of Ray Collins' favorite window. This is Earth.
There's John Scalzi's parking spot again.
Nice.
All right. 5:20.
You are watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right? Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed. Isn't it? Why is
heroin
so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy. I have questions. Mom? Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We have zoomed in our wide shot now to Atlanta, Georgia. Instead, there's the Ferris wheel. It's a 20-story Ferris wheel called Skyview Atlanta.
Ray, I feel like I know more about this Ferris wheel than I do most things about my personal life. This is Ray's favorite Ferris wheel, folks.
Guess what street it's on?
Ray Collins Avenue.
Can't make this up. Lucky Street.
Lucky Street. We
go.
need to spend more time on that one.
Don't we all? 72 degrees right now in Atlanta, 5:23 right now.
All right, in health news this morning, stay away from the bees. All right, we kind of know this, but as the weather heats up, so do the number of bee and wasp and hornet stings. Now, some of those can be fatal. A large group of bees were spotted at Northport's Public Works facility this week, like all those right there. Wow. According to the CDC, bees and wasps and hornet stings actually become more common during these hotter months. Now, of course, allergic reactions to those stings can be very dangerous. Nests and hives can be found under trees, under the roof roof easements or on equipment such as ladders in your backyard. Now here's some alerts. If you are stung, have someone stay with you to monitor just in case you have an allergic reaction. Also, you should wash the area that was stung with both soap and water. Remove the stinger carefully by scraping a fingernail over the area. Never squeeze the stinger, that might be your reaction, and don't use tweezers, which again kind of goes what you would think, but apply ice to reduce any swelling. Well, moving on right now, Uber, they are rolling out a new safety feature that's going to be allowing riders to call for help.
Here are today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Uber's panic button is now available.
The feature allows customers to dial 911 directly from a new safety center menu. Dispatchers will see your location in real time. In some areas, it'll transmit your car's color, make, and model. Apple's HomePod finally has a much anticipated upgrade.
The device now has the ability to sync with other HomePods so people with multiple smart speakers can play the same song in separate rooms. Apple has been promising the upgrade since the HomePod was unveiled in February. And they say diamonds are forever, but now forever might come from a lab.
So De Beers, the world's largest diamond miner, says it'll begin selling man-made diamonds for as little as $200. It's a major reversal for the company, which has been a fierce critic of synthetic diamonds.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Lyrica.
To most people, I look like most people. But on the inside, I feel chronic, widespread pain. Fibromyalgia may be invisible to others, but my pain is real.
Fibromyalgia is thought to be caused by overactive nerves. Lyrica is believed to calm these nerves.
I'm glad my doctor prescribed Lyrica.
For some, Lyrica delivers effective relief for moderate to even severe fibromyalgia pain and improves function. Lyrica may cause serious allergic reactions, suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these, new or worse depression, unusual changes in mood or behavior, swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or blurry vision. Common side effects: dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who've had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
With less pain, I can do more with my family.
Talk to your doctor today. See if Lyrica can help.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook. Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
With just days away from hurricane season, there's already a concern for turtle nests after subtropical storm Alberto.
Some members of Black Lives Matter plan to blitz Sarasota City Hall. We'll have a live preview for you.
And a date has been set for a huge downtown reconstruction project, when it's expected to begin and what residents can also expect. We have those stories and more coming up right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning to you on this Wednesday morning. It is 5:30. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. Hello, early risers. John Scalzi is tracking some showers on the Florida map right now.
Indeed, wet roadways out there in many locations. If you're taking, say, from Arcadia to the city or from the city to Arcadia on 72, there's going to be some fairly heavy rainfall moving across that region, so just be careful out there. We've got the showers lifting northward across the region, coming up from the south, a deep tropical plume of moisture influencing our weather today. We have heavy showers right now just to the east of Port Charlotte, and those showers lifting northward will be in Arcadia in about, I'd say half an hour or less, and that will produce at times some fairly heavy rainfall. These are non-severe storms, but they are producing a lot of rain. A lot of cloud cover out there as well today, kind of a mix of sun and clouds. Rain chances good for today and tomorrow as long as we have that plume of moisture lifting up out of Cuba right across our region. Temperatures are kind of uniform, coming in around 74, 75 most everywhere because of the clouds. And our rain chance today, excellent. Coming in at about 50% this morning, followed by about a 70% chance for your drive time home this evening. We'll have that complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
Talk to you soon, John. Time now to take a live look at a busy spot in our area. This is the Bee Ridge and Tuttle area, just south of downtown. Not a lot of activity there so far, but it'll pick up as the morning commute progresses. Let's check the maps right now as you awaken on this morning. We'll see a little blip there on 70 westbound as you approach 301, otherwise pretty clear. Farther south, we'll check that and see some more activity around the 41-301 intersection. Otherwise pretty clear in that half of Sarasota County. In South County, nothing much to speak of at 5:32.
Well, it is a call for justice today after a shooting that involved a Sarasota police officer tasing a Newtown man a few months ago.
Marla Spence tells us what they plan to do today. She's live at City Hall. Marla?
Good morning, guys. A large group of folks with Black Lives Matter Minnesota, the Rodney Mitchell Foundation, and Answer Suncoast Coalition will be here at City Hall to file complaints about officers that were called to Newtown for 2 incidents a few months ago. Now that group is asking for charges to be dropped against 2 men who were taken into custody in March and in April. They say they want justice for Chad Washington, who was tased by Sarasota police. Police say Washington was under the influence of the hallucinogenic drug Spice and say he was punching and biting officers. But spectators that day claim officers started the violence and say Washington was not resisting. The group who is filing complaints today say they not only want justice for Washington, but also Jeremy Trebles. He was parked in a car at Janie's Gardens Apartments in April, and officers patrolling that area say the car seems suspicious. That's when Sarasota police officer Brandon Vermillion walked over to the driver's side of the car, and that's when shots were fired in the car by the officer. Not only is the group asking for charges to be dropped for those 2 men, they're asking for the firing and prosecution of Officer Brandon Vermillion. Now, those people will be here at City Hall at 5:30 tonight, and following that formal complaint that they'll be making, we will keep you all updated with what comes out of today's complaint against Sarasota Police Department. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks, Marla. Back in custody again. The man accused of shooting into a condo in downtown Sarasota earlier this month is now in police custody once again. Police adding 3 more charges against Ryan Flanzer, including burglary, attempted kidnapping, and possession of a bulletproof vest while committing a crime. Flanzer was previously released on bond, and police collected 8 firearms from his possession following the alleged shooting at that downtown Sarasota condo.
A new study says Hurricane Maria likely killed thousands more Puerto Ricans than the official estimate gave us. Harvard researchers surveyed households on the battered island in Maria's wake. The official death toll was 112. Well, get this, they say they found evidence of more than 4,600 deaths during the storm and the weeks that followed. The hurricane roared through on September 20th, destroying buildings and knocking out power. Many of the victims died from delayed medical care.
Well, the first storm of the season has already made its mark on sea turtle nests here on the Suncoast. Those who monitor those nests are trying to determine just how many nests have been affected by the high tides and the surf from last weekend's storm. Now, Anna Maria Island Turtle Watch and Moat Marine Lab, they are 2 of the ones that have officials saying that some of the stakes around some of these sea turtle nests were washed away by the storm. But the eggs there, when most of those were still underneath the sand.
We were called back out and they said, we found a nest, it's not marked. There, lo and behold, there were the eggs.
Now, unfortunately, some of those nests have completely washed out after the storm, bringing the eggs above the sand surface. Most often, though, these Turtle Watch volunteers will find them and be able to rebury them back in the sand.
Plans are now in place for a major road project around downtown Venice this summer. The city says work will begin the week of July 9th on Venice, Tampa, and Miami Avenues. The project costs more than $8 million. It'll also force the farmers market to move closer to City Hall.
I think with the scope of the project for downtown, it only makes sense to be in an interim location while that's happening.
The project should be complete by late December or early January.
Well, summer break means kids at home and more meals to have to make for many Suncoast families. The State Department of Agriculture is restarting its summer break spot program to help fight summer hunger. State officials say more than 1 million students rely on free and reduced price meals during the school year. Now, this program tries to fill that gap during those summer months.
Nutrition is one of the most important building blocks for academic success, so this program helps give kids the access to the resources they need to stay healthy and ready to learn and set them up for the next school year.
Now, last year, the Summer Break Spot program provided 15 million meals at more than 4,600 schools, churches, and community centers. Now, there are more than 50 locations in the area that do offer that program. ABC 7 is helping the hungry this summer. Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger for more information on the effort. Well, it was a big day yesterday for ABC. One of the shows that they had touted as one of their biggest comeback successes has now been canceled. Yesterday, ABC canceled the reboot of Roseanne Barr's hit sitcom after a racist tweet about a former Obama aide. But this is far from the first time that the comedian has been in the spotlight for controversy. Randy Kay takes a look back at some of Barr's memorable moments that have come back to haunt her.
The revival of the hit show Roseanne was canceled just hours after the show's star Roseanne Barr tweeted this: Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. The VJ she's referring to is Valerie Jarrett, a former advisor to President Obama. By Tuesday morning, Barr's tweet had been deleted and replaced with an apology saying in part, "Forgive me, my joke was in bad taste." Roseanne's tweet outraged fans, but also her own castmates. Sarah Gilbert, also an executive producer of the show, calling the comments abhorrent and do not reflect the beliefs of our cast and crew or anyone associated with our show. Meanwhile, the subject of the tweet, Valerie Jarrett, responded on MSNBC.
I think we have to turn it into a teaching moment.
And she believes ABC did the right thing by canceling the show.
Bob Iger, who's the CEO of Disney, called me before the announcement. He apologized. He said that he had zero tolerance for that sort of racist, bigoted comment, and he wanted me to know before he made it public that he was canceling his show. And so I appreciate that they did that so swiftly.
Barr was back on Twitter late Tuesday with another apology, posting, "Don't feel sorry for me, guys. I just want to apologize to the hundreds of people and wonderful writers, all liberal and talented actors who lost their jobs on my show due to my stupid tweet." Streaming service Hulu and other cable networks have removed Roseanne reruns, and Barr was also dropped from her talent agency. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead, parents, this one is for you. Need to keep your kids busy during the summer can always be a big struggle. We're going to tell you about a free summer program that might keep your kids busy and on the move.
Here's a peek outside our window at the Rosemary District with downtown Sarasota off in the distance, looking southbound on Lemon right there. But there are some raindrops on the forecast right now. John Scalzi has details.
Yeah, more than just on the forecast, they're in the air over us. We're looking at about a 50% chance of showers for this morning for the drive time commute, and then about a 70% chance for the drive time home. Here's current radar, and you can see those showers just lifting north, coming up from the south, going to the north. That'll be kind of persistent for the next couple of hours. We've got some heavier rain now moving in toward Arcadia. If you're taking the road between Arcadia and, say, the interstate along State Road 72, watch for some ponding water on roadways there. It could be a problem. Otherwise, we'll continue to watch those showers across the region. We are going to see, perhaps today, as much as an inch or better of rain in some locations. Complete forecast coming up in a minute.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Our nurse, Jennifer, all we did is pick up the phone if I was having a bad day, and the next thing we know, she was here at the door. I can't believe that I would have received any greater care anywhere. From that moment on, everything changed dramatically, and I don't know what we would have done without that.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we watch rain showers on radar this morning, producing some fairly good coverage over the last hour or so. That coverage has expanded, and I think we'll have kind of a wet drive time really right straight through the next couple of hours. So if you're going to be commuting this morning, just watch for some ponding of water on roadways, because we have had some periods of some fairly heavy rainfall. In fact, we have that ongoing at this moment, particularly in inland areas. One heavier storm lifting up now out of Punta Gorda on its way to Arcadia. About 15 minutes from now, Arcadia, you're going to get a heavy downpour of rain, and in fact, it's going to leave some ponding water on some of your roadways out there. The rainfall rates are impressive, and it's part of a stream of moisture coming up from the south that promises us those good rain chances. For most of today, I think we're going to have kind of a cloud-covered deck that's keeping our temperature down just a little bit, and it certainly won't be a Chamber of Commerce day, or particularly a beach day at that. We're looking at one shower, light shower, now moving through Parrish, and that will head north into Hillsborough County in just a few minutes, and a scattering of showers, light to moderate rain falling now just to the south of that along 64, exiting 64. But it's really this cell right here that has actually produced a few pops of lightning now that we continue to watch. The core, located in interior parts of Charlotte County, is probably going to basically get a little bit weaker as it lifts northward, but still maintain a fairly heavy downpour of rain as it lifts northward up toward Arcadia. We'll watch these showers kind of encompass a lot of State Road 72 over the course of the next half hour or so. And as I mentioned, as you get down into this core of heavier rainfall, you can look at rainfall rates of 3/4 of an inch per hour over 72. And even though this system is moving fast and total rainfall amounts will not be that great, you will get sudden bursts of heavy rainfall along 72 that could produce some ponding there. So watch for that. We'll have these showers kind of lifting north really for the next couple of days, I think, until we start to work in some drier air from the Atlantic, of all places. High pressure will build in from the Atlantic as a ridge of high pressure in the upper and mid levels of the atmosphere continues to drift eastward. Westward rather. 75 degrees our current air temperature. We have a southeast wind coming in at about 7 right now. The key to the forecast, I think, over the next several days will be the direction of that wind flow. Right now, southeast, funneling up moisture. Eventually out of the southwest over the weekend, and that changes things. We'll talk about that in a second. Hour by hour, futurecast. The showers to the south of us lift north. Arcadia gets really wet over the course of the morning hours. The rain showers, I think, kind of expand across the region, and it's a sloppy morning commute. By afternoon, we might get a little bit of a break here and there, but the rain chances will be going up again as we head into the evening, and some of the showers will produce some fairly heavy rainfall before tapering off by midnight. And then tomorrow morning, we'll probably do it again. We just won't have as heavy and widespread a rain shower chance. So we still watch Alberto, now just a little bit of a depression, kind of an extratropical low, rather. And it's producing some fairly heavy rainfall in Kentucky. The Hurricane Center no longer issuing advisories on this system. It's been handed over to an agency that predicts heavy rainfall, and they are looking at flash flooding on the western sections of Kentucky today. Down to the south, the plume associated with that high pressure ridge and the upper levels of the winds coming out of the south continue to bring us cloud cover throughout the day today and tomorrow, and sizable amounts of moisture indicated here by the turquoise through the Florida Straits. That's all lifting northward until the dry air back to the west of us is picked up and brought into the picture by the ridge of expanding high pressure. That promises us with a little bit of drier weather for the weekend. Also, as our winds shift more to a southwesterly direction over the weekend, we start to get morning showers near the coast Saturday and Sunday, followed by the showers all moving inland later in the day. South wind at about 15, becoming southeast, so a couple of days of wet weather. Rain shower chances at about 70% today, 50% tomorrow. The drier air starts to move in, and we start to reduce our rain chances for Saturday and Sunday. In fact, I'll probably eliminate the rain chances on Sunday for the rest of the week. I think I'll keep that eliminated. We'll look for temperatures to respond, getting up close to 90. Good beach weather this weekend. And then as we head into next week, we'll be looking at a chance of showers working back in probably midweek. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic, starting off in Manatee County. It's not too bad out there. We are starting to see some delays right there on State Road 70 as you're heading south, approaching 301. And then State Road 64, a couple delays right in there as you're heading to and from the beach area and then to and from 41. But that's about it, though. Just a couple delays. We've got some wet roads out there today, so it is slowing things down just a little bit. Bee Ridge Road, a couple slowdowns there in Sarasota. A little bit farther south, those roads aren't running too bad either. If your commute takes you farther south down 75 or farther south down 41, both of those roads are running pretty decent right now. It is 5:49. That is your first alert traffic.
The annual Siesta Key and Venice Beach Run starts next week. The 1 mile fun run will be every Tuesday at Siesta Beach, every Wednesday at Broward Beach in Venice. Registration begins at 5:30, race time 6:30. The runners will all get ribbons and free ice pops. And those who compete for runs will get a free t-shirt as well. You interested in doing this?
For the t-shirt, yes.
I saw you perk up there. You have to run also.
Oh, well, that throws me off. Can I watch Netflix while I do it? Okay.
5:49 right now. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast. And this is a look outside at some wet roads in Sarasota.
That is right. We're going to have one final look at John Scalzi's forecast for today and a little glimpse of what the weekend may hold. We'll be right back. You are watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
The ABC7 First Alert Weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert Weather app today.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a part-time media controller to manage various stages of video on-air content playout. General computer skills are an absolute must. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply.
Welcome back. It is 5:53, and here are some of the top stories that we've been following for you today on the Suncoast.
Work begins the week of July 9th in Venice on an $8 million road project. It involves Tampa, Miami, and Venice Avenues.
Plus, almost 24 online predators, these guys right here, were caught in the latest Operation Intercept. It's an undercover sting operation by the Sarasota Sheriff's Office.
And Anna Maria Island are closer now to knocking down their historic pier. Hurricane Irma damaged the pier last September. They've reportedly chosen a Venice company to do the demolition work. They hope to build a new pier as soon as next year at a cost of $3 to $4 million.
Coming up in the next hour, cleanup efforts are underway in Maryland right now after they were hit with major floods earlier this week. And those gas prices may be going up, but we have you covered. We're going to show you how you can save money at the pump. Plus, it is a call for justice today after a Sarasota police officer tased a man a few months ago. We're going to tell you which complaints are going to be filing at City Hall later on this afternoon.
But first, plenty of raindrops right now around the area. John Scholes has one last peek this hour for us.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's going to be kind of a wet commute all morning long. I think we're going to have chances of rain showers in the forecast. Lifting up from the south, heavier rain moving into Arcadia at this moment. Here are your weather highlights, your takeaways for today. I think we're going to be seeing several wet days, actually, and we'll talk about that in the next hour. Weekend sunshine and some warmer temperatures as well. And don't forget, hurricane season starts Friday. Our special airs 7 p.m. Friday evening. It'll be very, very instructive. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, John. You know, you can check out our web pages, our Facebook pages each day. It's under facebook.com and /Stephanie Webb, Ray Collins. We've got a graphic we can show you right now of how you can get a hold of us and write to us. We can write back to you, and you see our daily posts as well.
Suggest some story ideas. We'd love to talk back and forth with you guys. And don't forget, this is also a great time. We're just a couple days away from hurricane season. Speaking of all this, make sure that you've got the ABC7 app. It's free. Make sure you've got that on your phone with those notifications enabled so you can get all the latest stuff for weather updates as well. So.
All right, we'll update the day's top news headlines, have more of John's forecast next hour on Good Morning Suncoast. See you then.